A new wave of disruption is on the horizon. The pandemic has disrupted everything. The war in Ukraine has broken globalization, and the next wave of upheaval will hit our jobs. Listen to this carefully. 14 million jobs could be eliminated in the next 5 years. 14 million. That's the prediction of the World Economic Forum. They've published a survey just ahead of the International Workers' Day, also known as May Day. It's today, the 1st of May. Workers around the world marched on the streets today. In France, there were massive protests. 1 million workers hit the streets. Many of them are opposing President Macron's new pension policy. We've been discussing it on the show. What about the rest? What are they protesting? Around the world, women and men are marching on Labor Day to ask for better wages, better living standards, better working conditions. But the job market is changing, and changing dramatically. We are in a period of disruption, and we have advance warning. But are we prepared for what's coming? Are we prepared for the loss of another 14 million jobs in 5 years? The report I just mentioned, it surveyed more than 800 companies around the world, and this is what it found. Employers will create 69 million jobs by 2027. 69 million new jobs. But they'll also eliminate jobs. How many? 83 million. And the difference is 14 million. That's the number of jobs that will be lost. So employers will slash more jobs than creating new ones. And you know what will drive this change? Technology. Artificial intelligence. It will change the workplace as we know it. It will have both positive and negative impacts. It will create jobs for those who can develop and manage AI tools. It will also take away jobs like those that involve record keeping. In fact, the World Economic Forum has made this prediction. It says 26 million record keeping jobs are at risk. They could be eliminated by 2027. So technology will be a big disruptor whether we like it or not. But it won't be the only disruptor. The job market will also be hit by slower economic growth and higher inflation. Also, a major risk that stares us in the face is a redundant workforce. Around the world, 6 out of 10 workers will need training. 44% of a worker's skills need to be updated. Turns out a lot of people do want to upgrade themselves, but they don't have enough opportunities. Only half of the employees surveyed say that they have adequate access to opportunities. This is the global picture. What about India? Well, India will not be insulated from these changes. The World Economic Forum report has a prediction for India too. It says the Indian job market will also see a churn. New jobs will be created in emerging sectors like AI and machine learning. So the shift is quite clear for everyone. The question is, are we ready for it? And the short answer, I'm afraid, is no, we are not. Around the world, labor unrest is on the rise. Dock workers have staged walkouts. Rail workers and public servants are protesting. Ports around the world are witnessing agitations. Let me show you some data, in fact. In 2021, there were just 8 cases of protests and strikes at the world's leading ports. Last year, this number shot up dramatically. From 8, it went up to 38. That's a jump of almost 400%. Why are so many workers angry? They're deeply impacted by the growing inflation. They say their wages have been stagnant for decades. They want a raise. And we've seen this before. In the 1800s, there was a series of protests. From Germany to France, England, and the US, workers had a single, simple demand. They wanted their work hours reduced. They were working for 12 to 15 hours. They wanted this reduced to just 8 hours a day. And this led to the first round of May Day strikes. In the US, the May Day protests began with a bloody massacre. The year was 1886. Workers took out a rally in Chicago. Again, they wanted to work for fewer hours. They assembled at the Haymarket Square. Suddenly, bombs went off. Unknown attackers targeted the workers. It led to a massive riot. At least 11 people died. This event was a turning point in American history. It led to major labor reforms in the US. This was more than 100 years ago. The job sector is dramatically different today. 60% of the jobs in existence today were not even around in the 1940s. We are in the year 2023. The world is at a similar crossroads. Today we are witnessing fresh protests. But do we have a solution? Not immediately. But we do need a solution urgently, and policymakers must act. Else, they'll have a new crisis on their hands, a crisis of jobs. Or joblessness, to be more precise. Those who have a job want better wages. But the reality is this. the companies that employ them are looking for ways to hire fewer people. And technology is driving this disruption. It's inevitable. Our best bet is to innovate and prepare.